Hey guys, welcome to a very exciting game from round 11 of the FIDE Grand Swiss Tournament. This tournament is being held in the Isle of Man, and let's check out this interesting game. The players are David Howell with the black pieces and Wang Hao with the white pieces. Now I have to let you guys know that Wang Hao has, or Wang Hao, however you want to say it, has 7 points and he needs one more point. He needs a win in this game to win this tournament. So let's just check it out. We have d4 as an opening by Wang, who has the white pieces, and knight to f6 in response. We have c4 and now g6, g3, trying to feed into the bishop, and now g7. That's what black does as well, capturing this nice diagonal. White is going to put his bishop on this g2 square and then capture this nice diagonal, this one. So we have a bishop to g2 and d5. Now immediately attacking the center, now that King's Indian setup has been made on this king side. We have c takes d5, knight takes d5, and knight to f3. A developing move, protecting this wonderful pawn here on d4. We have knight to b6, retreating with the knight, and now castles. Knight to c6, a developing move, and Wang Hao in his interview later suggested that he was actually expecting this pawn to be pushed to c5 and only then this knight to come out. But this came to him as a surprise, and he said that he couldn't really remember what he had planned and what should have been played. So he just went with the basics and protected his pawn by pushing e3. Now we have e5, immediately attacking the center, threatening to open up the lines. But black has not yet castled, so I don't know why he wants to open up these lines. Nonetheless, knight to c3. We have e takes d4, knight takes d4, and again knight takes d4, eliminating another knight. E takes d4. A lot of pieces have been exchanged, and even though this piece is currently being attacked by two of your pieces, it's not really a good idea to capture this at the moment, because then your king is still stuck in the center. You could definitely get a check and then you will not be able to castle. So c6 first. We have d5, now pushing the pawn even further, and c takes d5, still not castling by black. We get knight takes d5. Now this knight is attacking the knight, and you probably have to capture with the pawn or with the queen if you don't want to mess up the pawn structure. And we get castles finally by black. We have bishop to e3, now double attacking the knight, and bishop to e6. Attacking this knight, forcing the knight either to go back or to capture this knight here on b6. We get knight takes b6, a takes b6, bishop takes b7, and rook takes a2. Pretty amazing moves. And again we have rook takes a2 and bishop takes a2. After all these captures, looks like this game is heading towards a dead draw, and this is just to move 17. And in move 17 you could clearly say that this game is completely equal. White or black could just capture the queens and get the queens off the board, and then you'll be left with a bishop pair against a rook. So it's completely equal, and you have equal material, equal pawns on perfect squares. We have queen to a4, now attacking the bishop, and this is where David Howell makes a mistake. So if you are in David's position, if you're playing against Wang Hao, how will you continue in this position? For those of you who found the move, pretty amazing, and the move to find was bishop to e6. Just retreating with your bishop, and everything is completely fine. Then you're going to, white probably will play bishop to queen to b5, attacking this pawn twice. But now you can simply play queen to f6. You can attack this b pawn, and once queen takes b6, you get queen takes b2, queen takes b2, bishop takes b2, and now bishop to b1, rook to b1, and bishop to f6. Again, completely an equal game with a pair of bishops against a pair of bishop, and a rook against a rook with 3 pawns which are on identical squares pretty much. Even the king is similar, so it's completely drawn game. But after queen to a4, Howell made a big blunder, and he was not even in so much of a time pressure that he was not able to find it. He just played bishop to d5, a pretty amateur move, thinking that he's just going to get some captures and then he's going to be completely fine. But the move that he missed was, before I tell you the move, again it's a good time for you to pause the video and try to find the move, because this is where it's important to not to make mistakes, but it is more important to find one when the mistake is made. That's how grandmasters play, and that's when they pounce, and that's how they win games. So for those of you who are able to find it, congratulations, and for the rest of us, it is rook to d1. With this rook to d1 move, you are pinning this bishop, because now your bishop cannot capture since your queen is hanging. And just like that, I mean, you have to give up the bishop or the queen. Now what are you going to do? There is no way to protect this piece. So David realized his mistake, and he's like, okay, there is nothing I can do. Bishop takes b7, you have to give up the queen. Rook takes d8, and now rook takes d8. So for the price of a queen, you have a rook and a bishop, which is absolutely not enough compensation, especially in an endgame. Now we have f4, and bishop takes b2. Just the pawn was hanging, so why not capture it? But it's not an issue, because queen to a7. Now you attack this bishop, and you attack the pawn. There is nothing you can do. You cannot protect both. We have rook to d7, defending this bishop, but now you simply get queen takes b6, and you're also attacking this bishop on b2. You have bishop to b1, and now queen to b5, rook to d1 with check, and king to f2. But again, rook to d1 was definitely a mistake, and what he should have played instead after queen to b5 was bishop to c8. Just try to control this diagonal, and now this check is definitely threatening, because you again have to, or you can just keep control of this file, and then you can move your bishop and then give a check. Whatever you want, it's possible. But this is completely winning for white, and grandmasters would definitely see all these variations. Nonetheless, rook to d1 was played with a check, and king to f2. This is complete advantage white. The engine is saying +7 for white, and black is just going to have a slow death. We have bishop to h1, now trying to cut off the king from a lot of squares. Currently he can just go to 1 square, but that's completely fine. I mean, white here is up, and he doesn't really have to do anything. Black has to remember that his king is also vulnerable here. So we have queen to e8 with check, and king to g7, bishop to c5. Now we get h5. You have to make some room for the king, because bishop to f8 check is coming. Now you have to move up, king to f6, and queen to e7 check. King to f5. Now queen takes f7 check. Slowly but surely you're going to gobble up all the pawns, and there is nothing these three pieces can do. Yes, they are definitely close to white's king, and they are attacking the white's king, but white king can definitely escape. It's not an issue. We have bishop to f6, blocking the check, and bishop to e7. Now attacking, and you're definitely going to capture this bishop. rook to d2 with check, and king to e3. Now this king can definitely escape. It's also attacking this rook. Rook takes h2, and now queen takes f6 with check. King to g4, and now queen takes g6 with check. Just like I said, you are again going to capture all these pieces and eventually it's going to be over. King to h3, and now not allowing the king to escape with a check, but instead pushing f5. Now what are you going to do to stop this pawn from queening? I mean, if you think about it, the rook will take 1, 2 moves, but this bishop is nicely defending this queening square, and if you want to bring this bishop, then it's going to take just one move, but then your queen can maneuver with a couple of checks. If you move the pawn ahead, queen can even come to this f5 square, deliver a check, and pick up this bishop. So there is nothing these two pieces can do against a queen and a bishop. But still, David played on. We have bishop to d5, like I said, trying to defend this square, but now f6, and you have to move this this bishop, because the next you're going to get is this either f5 check or even h5 check, and you're going to pick up the bishop. We have king to g2, proactively moving away. Now we have queen to c2 check, and this was the final position on the board where David Howell resigned because he realized there is nothing he can do. This is checkmate in 8 moves. So again guys, if you have some time, pause the video and try to find the winning combination. It's pretty amazing and I'm sure that you'll be able to find it. If you want, I'll give you a hint. This pawn never queens. You don't really have to queen the pawn, but instead you have to use the queen and the king to checkmate this black king. So that's your hint. Black has to move now, and I'm going to show you the position. For those of you who found it, amazing, congratulations, keep it up. For the rest of us, here it is. King to g1, you have to go back with the king, and now queen to d1 with check. And this is the best defense. I mean, if you make worse moves, then you are checkmate pretty quickly. But for now, this is the best defense. So that's the line I'm going to show. King to g2 again, and queen to d5 with check. Queen takes d5 with check. Now you eliminate this bishop as well. King to g1, queen to d1 check. King to g2 and f7. You have rook to h3, and now queen to f3 with check. You get king to h2, and now king to f2 with threatening checkmate here on this g2 square. You have to capture the g3 pawn here. Rook takes g3, and now you probably can all see the checkmate. It's queen takes g3 with check. The only place for the king to move is this this h1 square, so he moves there, and this queen now delivers a checkmate from the g2 square. This is checkmate. So wonderful game won by Wang Hao, and in the post-match interview he was pretty excited to win this tournament. With this, like I said, he wins the tournament, and he was pretty happy that he qualified for the candidates tournament in 2020. So that's pretty exciting news for him. Along with that, Caruana also had a wonderful tournament. Hikaru Nakamura also had a wonderful tournament. And I have prepared the standings for you guys, so I'm going to show it to you. Well, this is an exciting photo. It's definitely not the standings, but an exciting photo of Wang Hao with 2 wonderful trophies to his name. These are the standings after round 11. We have Wang Hao, who is number 1 with 8 points. Fabiano Caruana also with 8 points. We have Krill with 7.5, Lemon Aronian, we have David, Magnus Carlsen, and Hikaru Nakamura, and Nikita Vitigov with 7.5 points. Then we have Alexander Grishchuk, David Howell, who is also a wonderful player, and Vidit Santosh Gujarati. He has also played some amazing games. It's just that I didn't really have a lot of time which is why I could not show any of his games. But definitely in the future he is on my list, and I'll show some of his games on this channel. And these guys have 7 points. It goes all the way up to even Vishwanathan Anand here has 6.5 points. And he lost a couple of very interesting games because of two blunders, big blunders that he made. He could never recover from those. So that's it from this round. This ends this FIDE Grand Swiss Tournament, and I will keep you guys posted on the next tournament that's coming up. But in the meantime, I will also have a saga dedicated to Adolf Anderssen, and I'm looking forward to that saga. I have already posted a couple of videos, but I took a break from that saga because of this tournament, and now I'm going to start it again. To all my subscribers, I would like to thank them for the support that they have shown. Greatly appreciate it. That's all from me. Namaste. See you next time.